Zero has not done as well as Genshin. It has not done as well as Honkai. But I feel like as far as development goes, Zenless Zone Zero has top tier development skills that I think surpass any other, I think just any game that I've ever really loved. Like, I just think they do a fantastic job just listening and paying attention.
I'd like to use this opportunity to share with you some of the development progress for version 2.0 and our plans for the future of Zenless Zone Zero.
Let's go. What's the plan?
In Season 2's story, we will follow the protagonist to a unique area within New Eritol, Wi-Fi Peninsula, which will be the main stage for the story.
More like waifu, am I right? Am I right, guys? Aha!
Of version 2.0. Wi-Fi Peninsula is a district of the Throne Quarter, near the Lemnian Hollow. The earlier settlers of this region were tasked to monitoring the highly volatile Lemnian Hollow, and the name Wi-Fi is derived from the Cantonese characters for protect and anomaly. From the phrase,
so it is dangerous. It's very, very dangerous.
protection from the anomaly called the Hollows. Later, an outpost was established here, which then became the city area Phalion Heights. Phalion Heights were built at the top of a cliff, overlooking the bay with its beautiful scenery.
I love it!
This is also an area rich in porcelain, a precious material that's highly resistant to ether corruption.
Okay, we have a material that's highly resistant to ether corruption, which means there's definitely some big baller, like, evil corporation that's gonna exploit it to the maximum amount of money that is gonna be involved in this. I feel it in my bones.
Mining and processing porcelain has thus become the core industry of Wi-Fi Peninsula. Behind this massive industry and its profits, however, lies a tangled mess of factions. Here, we'll gradually unravel the clues we planted throughout the story this fall. For example, Sarah's true plans behind the sacrifice and the
Finally, we get to see what the frick is happening with Sarah. Holy man, Sarah was just in there, and I feel like she just left the face of the earth, and we never really got closure.
Bringer incidents, the conspiracy behind the mysterious exorcist, and the truth behind the fall of the old capital, as well as the secrets of the Phaeton siblings. Meanwhile,
the only secret we want to know about the Phaeton siblings is if they're actually siblings. That's literally the only thing we want to know.
Protagonists will encounter agents from various factions and embark on brand new adventures. For example, that way seeker with yellow cape we saw earlier is none other than Yixuan, the current leader of Yunhui Summit. She will make her debut as a key character in Season 2.
She looks cool.
As the story unfolds, the protagonists will gradually uncover her mysterious past and become a new disciple of Yunhui Summit. Yixuan will become our steadfast support and guide us in her craft as our mentor, helping us explore the hollows directly. Beside Yixuan, who oversees Yunhui Summit, the defense forces Oboe Squad that we all familiar with, as well as the previously revealed idol faction Angels of Delusion.
Yes! Yes! Finally! Finally! Angels of Delusion! They're coming, guys! They're finally gonna be here! That's so cool, man. And also, is this Twitter? Is this Twitter? Or X, whatever they're calling it. First of all, I love this setup. This is such a cool gaming setup. Angels of Delusion! Oh, I'm excited for them. Finally, we get it. Like, I mean, we got, obviously, we have Chingy, who's our very beloved, do we call her a cyborg or do we call her an android at this point? She's an android, right? But then we have her, who kind of is more in line of like Billy, you know? So I think this is just really cool to kind of have a female counterpart to him. I just think it's really cool.
Will all be making their appearance in Season 2. We've prepared a Season 2 teaser trailer to be released on April 13th.
Wow, the trailer for Season 2. This is my birthday gift, guys. This is my birthday gift. She looks so good. Wow, she looks really, really, really good.
More information about the various factions will also be revealed then.
Wow.
for the content direction of Season 2 will not just be simply adding more characters and areas. We've been taking feedback from our practice very seriously and incorporated this feedback into our design philosophy.
I love that.
Making an adjustment from the ground up.
They've always done a really, really, really good job with their character design. I don't know how they can improve it anymore, to be frank. Unless they're gonna add like middle-aged characters in the game. I can't really see how they would do better or more.
I'll be sharing some of the results with you all during the program. The most noticeable change is in the map design. We've completely revamped the entire map experience and integrate the residential areas with combat zones at the system level, providing a more fluid and engaging gameplay experience for practice.
I love that.
First, let's talk about the design of the main city area, Beilong Heights. The new daily system will also be designed to match the local culture and the customs of the Wi-Fi Peninsula area.
Oh, so now we really get to see a look of like culturally what the people are like within the areas, which I think the most noticeable place where we saw those things was in the Outer Ring, where Caesar's group is, the Sons of Caledon. You really saw distinct cultural changes between people who live there and people who live in New Eridu. And with this being a new location, I'm very curious to know the kind of culture and like seeing that culture firsthand for the people who live in those locations.
As a business-savvy video store owner, helping Yunhui Summit manage various aspects of Suibian Temple will also be a part of our new life. This new gameplay features management simulation elements and the new features such as bamboo dispatch, integrating residential areas with exploration areas, and creating a smoother experience.
Oh yeah, more opportunity for Denny's, guys? More Denny's, maybe? About to send our bamboo out for commissions.
For the visuals, with the help and the careful maintenance of the properties, Suibian Temple will gradually be restored to its former glory. Plus, various elements such as holes, scratch cards will take on new forms that match the vibes of Suibian Temple.
Wow.
The frequently mentioned loading issues has also been resolved in Beilong Heights. Previously, due to a limitation in the underlying design, the video store that properties see from outside along the street does not match the actual size of the video store from within.
It doesn't? It doesn't? I didn't notice.
So, we need a loading screen to bridge the interior and the exterior of the store. In Beilong Heights, however, returning home is no longer a process that requires waiting. Additionally, we've optimized the pathway in Beilong Heights. The function area will be more concentrated, and the path to access each area will become more efficient and streamlined.
This game, I don't know if they do this for Genshin or for Honkai, but I feel like I've never seen a development team so devoted to listening to the people playing the game and really making adequate changes to make it spectacular. Like, I'm surprised Zenless Zone Zero, when you talk about ranks or when you talk about like where it is on the gacha game system, Zenless Zone Zero has not done as well as Genshin. It has not done as well as Honkai. But I feel like as far as development goes, Zenless Zone Zero has top tier development skills that I think surpass any other, I think just any game that I've ever really loved. Like, I just think they do a fantastic job just listening and paying attention. It's really, really interesting. They made less money than those games too. Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's kind of crazy, man. And I feel like, I don't know whether it's because they've already invested so much money into Zenless Zone Zero, where it's like, we kind of have to go all in or nothing now, but they don't have to do this much. You know, like these little changes, they're superficial, you know, they don't have to do these changes, but they do them. And I feel like there's a sense of care, and that's why they do them, which I think is really, 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 really amazing. Zenless Zone Zero has the smallest team out of any Hoyo teams, and also all of the people on the team are brand new devs, and this is their first game. You know what? That makes a lot of sense because now if you put that into perspective, it's like they just want their dreams to come true. You know, this is their first big break and they want to do a really good job. And they are doing so well. So well, man. So well.
With the past few versions as precious learning experience, its overall design will be more refined, with larger explorable areas, more robust systems, and more streamlined guidance.
Nice.
One distinct improvement is that after completing their training at Shuibian Temple, the proxy siblings
We're getting a training arc, guys. We're getting a training arc.
No longer needed to return to the video store to access the hollows through the HDD system.
Oh, really?
Instead, they can now travel more conveniently between Billion Heights and the Aerospace City.
Interesting.
The craft they will learn will also be of great help in their future hollow explorations.
Okay.
While we've added new areas, the travel system wasn't just simply expanded upon. In Season 2, we've redesigned the travel system, changing from the original sliding area selection system to a larger map format.
Do we actually get a full map?
We're also improving the UI experience. We also added a mini-map to the interface, along with the navigation features. Proxies can now select their destination more quickly and gain a clear understanding of new Eridu's geographical
We're gonna see it?
Regarding plot structure, we've also noticed that since special episodes and basin stories are relatively independent story units, the current narrative structure results in weaker connections between plot points, resulting in a disjointed viewing experience. In future versions, we will merge special episodes and basin stories together, putting more focus on developing the connection between the various agents and the main storyline, while also deepening the proxies environment.
So I think what he's trying to say here is that the side character stories that we see sometimes don't line up to the placement of where you are in the actual main storyline. So I think what now is the integration of this is that they are going to now provide, I guess like separation between the older stories. So you can see like independent storylines versus Phaethon's connection, and their direct involvement. For example, Jane Doe's storyline really doesn't have much to do with Phaethon and more to do with Seth than anything else. In relation to like Soldier 11's storyline, where Phaethon is very much involved, though we really don't have no direct connection with her in the beginning. So moving forward, it looks like these storylines are going to be more intertwined with the main story. So we get more satisfaction and more of an understanding to the connection of the plot points that are being told to us, which I think is really, really, really great. I like that. I like that a lot. I like how it's divided into seasons. I also like that as well. I think it's a lot easier to understand, especially since Phaethon's story is also separated into seasons as well.
Update the main storyline with each version, while ensuring that we do not compromise on its narrative quality.
I like
In
that.
addition to ongoing gameplay improvement, our team has also been constantly exploring the idea of bringing Zenless Zone Zero to users on more platforms. What I can reveal right now is that Zenless Zone Zero is being prepared for launch on the Xbox platform.
Let's go!
We'll share more info
Nice.
with everyone during the upcoming Xbox live stream.
What are our plans or adjustments for the combat system?
The current combat design significantly diminishes the presence of the characters other than the main DPS.
Very true.
What should be a 3-person tactical squad feels more like a solo operation. So for the character combat design in Season 2, we will enhance the functionality and performance of non-DPS characters.
Yes! Let's
For
go!
example, when agents are switched out, they can still remain on field and contribute to combat.
Which is something I noticed because I was updating the game yesterday and playing, and I was like, oh, there's Trigger. Oh, there's Pulchra. Oh, they're just kind of there in the background. And I just thought it was an event thing. But this is really cool to see that, like, they can still contribute to combat passively, similarly to the Bang Boo that play on screen too, which I think that's how it should be. And I think this is such an innovative way of combat that I have not seen before that I really, 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 really enjoy. Really enjoy. Now, to really boost this, I would like to see if their attacks and if their attacks still are in link with their passive skills as well, especially for anomaly type characters and support type characters. That would be really cool if it's not just, oh, I'm just gonna do extra damage. It would be nice if their status effects also contribute as well. Really, really, really cool.
Thus, there's a visual indication of their combat performance, while not affecting the player's control of the on-field agent. Another possibility is adding new attack and defense mechanics for enemies. Of course, some of these are just preliminary ideas.
Okay, so they're ideas
while
right now.
Others might make an appearance in the version 2.0 special program. However, the ultimate goal of these optimizations is to enhance overall synergy between characters, elevating both combat and visual experience to the next level.
I love that. That is such an amazing thing. Also, hello Yuki, welcome in, welcome in. Can't tell what this means. Do they mean they'll make more Aftershock units? Describe what you mean by Aftershock. What is an Aftershock unit? But yeah, really, really, really cool stuff. Really amazing stuff, actually. Very excited to see that. And I again, like what he's trying to make clear through this is a lot of it's still ideas right now. That they're not sure if they're going to keep it, if they're going to scrap it. But it's something that they want to try. And I don't think by Aftershock units, if they're going to make more of them, yes, they could probably make more of them. But I think just in general, other characters will also have an appearance regardless of what their typing is. So, and what I'm also curious, right? So let's say I'm being Nicole, right? And Zhu Yuan is my DPS, right? Am I going to see Zhu Yuan on the background, even though she's a DPS, when this is supposed to focus on units that are non-DPS? You guys get what I mean? Like, is this only going to be for support or stun agents? Or am I also going to see this same fluidity and the synergy happening with non-DPS members as well? Or does this only happen if I'm playing a DPS? So, I'm very curious. Very, very curious. Can you share any insights on the design direction for upcoming version events?
To sum up, in our future development plans, we are aiming to optimize events in 3 aspects. First, we'll continue improving on existing game modes,
Okay.
such as Grand Muscle Adventure, Bamboo
Let's go.
vs. Ethereal, and so on, to make them more fun for players.
Yeah, I love
At the same
these.
time, we'll be rolling out more exciting new gameplay. In future versions, we might see casual duels between bamboos, or even get to control a giant bamboo in combat.
That would be cool.
Besides events featuring our adorable bamboo, we will also introduce some slow-paced, relaxing events to enrich Proxy's everyday life outside of the main story, such as spending joyful moments with agents at hot pot restaurants, movie theaters, and more. We
Had to have
also
you in
hope
there,
that
man.
beyond the intense and thrilling combat events, players can also take a breather to enjoy the lighter story events.
Are there any plans in future versions regarding characters released earlier in the game?
Every character is the result of our team's blood, sweat, and dedication.
Very true.
Our team has put in quite
shows.
a bit of effort to ensure characters are relatively future-proof and have long-term value.
Very true.
Showcasing a character's charm isn't just about mindlessly beefing up their stats, while maintaining each character's unique traits. We will strategically enhance their unique traits, rather than just simply boosting their damage output.
I like that. And it's something I do have to say, the only characters I feel like haven't really lived long as far as like future events, I want to say, is Anton and Billy. I feel like those 2 units didn't really have a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of life, but I feel like their skill sets just don't do well. And I know, like, as of right now, they're kind of bringing back Billy, not just in an archetype standpoint, but also just in gameplays with additional buffs for certain game modes as well. But Billy, to me, feels like I don't know. I just feel like other characters, and I guess that's the difference between like A rank and S rank classes, right? I just feel like Billy hasn't done as much, I think, combat wise, even though he's a beloved character. And I would like to see Billy either come back in an arc stance to kind of like just build up more hype for him. Because I think even though Billy is not a popular character to play in a unit team, he also gets a lot of screen time, if that makes sense, which I really like. So they make up in that sense. And then speaking about Ellen too, Ellen did definitely get murdered by Miyabi. Very true indeed. However, Ellen kind of has always pretty much had this kind of charm to her that has allowed her to come back into like side quests and storylines where she's still a very beloved, and I want to say still to this day, one of the more popular Zenless Zone Zero characters. Even though she came out for release, you know? So I feel like Ellen's doing fine. And that's what I mean. Like, there's still, I would like to see them increase the movement and the combat abilities of A ranked characters, but of course they're A ranked characters for a reason. I think the important thing is for S class to still have longevity to them. And I feel like S class units that have lacked in that, I think Kaleda is one of them. And maybe, again, it could be because I'm maybe just not building her correctly. But I feel like Kaleda just could do more, but just doesn't do more. I feel like Grace is another one, and Caesar is another one, where they don't really have longevity to their builds as much as they could. When we're talking about moving forward, actually the entirety of Bellabog. Yeah, I feel like Bellabog could have done better. Ben, I feel like as a defense character, he does great defense, but he's very slow and just doesn't make him a viable unit. I feel like as far as longevity goes, I agree in Bellabog being the weakest faction. And I feel like there needs to be either some sort of additional hype or gameplay, combat skills to be incorporated to just make them outlast more. However, I will say Bellabog was my favorite arc in Zenless Zone Zero. It was my favorite arc. I think up to par with Harumasa's arc, which isn't really, that's more of an individual character arc than a faction arc, really. But yeah, I think those characters need to be, I think Bellabog in a whole just needs to kind of be incorporated differently to help them last more.
For example, we'll supplement or even rework certain skills and their effects, tailoring them to each character's experience.
I like that.
Besides that, we'll also consider each character's role very seriously. While strengthening the characters, we will also take into consideration their compatibility with other characters in future versions. In terms of storytelling, we hope that our characters, even those have already been released, can showcase their own unique charm.
Which they do a great job at.
In version 1.7, for example, we'll get to see quite a few scenes between Lycan
Let's
and Hugh.
go!
These interactions
My favorite
are crucial
duo!
for the character's emotional investment in the long run. We hope that every
I
character
can't wait
can
to
find
see
a
that, guys.
purpose that belongs solely to them in different corners of New Everything. Although it might be challenging to do this well, we'll continue to work hard to create more meaningful relationships between characters and players, or even take their bond to the next level.
I like that. I like that a lot. Really like that a lot. And I think a great example of them doing this is honestly with Anby. Even though they made a completely different character, I don't want to say a completely different character, but a completely different gameplay for Anby, they still incorporated her in a way which brought out another side of her story and her experience just being her, you know? So to see other characters kind of take on that form too would also be really cool. I would like to see a more ruthless, less gentlemanly version of Lycan, which I kind of got a snippet of in that scene, and that just looked really, 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 really good, man. Where there is this kind of more aggressive style of gameplay. So that's something I'm really, really excited for. Defense in general could use some love. Caesar's the only standout. I agree with that 100%. Ben, I believe, is too slow. Seth is good. But I feel like he's good with certain units, which makes sense. He's not really an all-around character, but that's why, again, I think like he's an A rank and not an S rank. To be honest, I'd rather have a non-cyborg Billy from the concept than Lycon. I mean, to each their own. I've been a fan of Lycon for a while, so. Bonds to the next level. Yep.
As a new team, we've admittedly fell short in the earlier stage in terms of both narrative and gameplay elements. We've been working hard to make improvements,
It really have been.
continuously incorporating feedback from proxies and optimizing our content. Thank you, proxies, for your continued patience, feedback, and support.
So happy
In
to be a
future
proxy.
content updates, we will prioritize ensuring content quality and humbly continue to welcome feedback and guidance from our proxies with the utmost respect.
Love that,
We
love
hope
that.
Season 2 will bring proxies a more complete and smoother experience.
It definitely
If you
will.
encounter any issues with gameplay experience, we hope you will share more feedback through the official community channels. Your feedback and suggestions are crucial for our future content development.
Oh yeah, and they
Till next
listen.
time.
Thank you, Y. Wow. Really, really, really good. Super exciting stuff, guys. Super exciting stuff. Wow. That was fantastic. That was actually really, really, really great, guys. That was really, really, really